Hello, and welcome to a NewCon Press unboxing. This, my friends, is To the Stars and Back, stories in honor of Eric Brown. Eric Brown was a science fiction author from the UK who passed away in March of last year. And, NewCon Press has put together a tribute volume for him. Which, oh man, smacked the hell out of the camera there. Pardon me. So I very aggressively get this box out of its package. I will say, I think this is only the second title I've ever purchased from NewCon Press. The first was The Queen of Summer's Twilight by Charles Vess. Charles Vess's debut novel. And, I mean, they're cheap and affordable. I don't say cheap in terms of, quality. I mean, they're all right. It's not going to be as fancy as some of many other small presses, but I think that is reflected in the price. I think this is the signed hardcover edition, limited to 100 copies, only £30, which, I mean, it's affordable. So To the Stars and Back, stories in honor of Eric Brown, edited by Ian Waits from NewCon Press. Like I said, there's nothing overly fancy about the editions. I mean, you do have some nice little stamping on the spine here, but we of course, have glued binding. It's not really cloth bound or anything, but like I said, $30 for a signed edition, signed by all of the authors in it, of which there are many. Most notably, for example, you got Keith Brook, you've got Alastair Reynolds, whose signature is not on this first page, must be on the second page. Yep, it's Alastair Reynolds. This is number 58 out of 100. Of course, Ian Waits' signature right there as well. He edited the volume. So yeah, excited to dive in. I've read a couple Eric Brown novellas several years back, and I don't know how many titles of Eric Brown's NewCon has ever published. I mostly know Eric Brown through PS Publishing. PS Publishing has done a ton of titles by Eric Brown. A ton of novellas, ton of short stories, collections, and so forth. I think actually, I don't know if it's still available, but for the longest time there was a collection of, a grouping of novellas, a bundle of novellas that you could buy from PS Publishing's clearance site for very cheap. I think some of them might have even been signed by him. Because PS Publishing does a lot of... One of these is a script. Huh. It's interesting. But yeah, this is a ton of short stories from a ton of different sci-fi authors. Bios for them all in the back here. And it was one of those things where, yeah, I mean, the price was right. I think, the shipping was nearly as much as the book itself. And then that's not to say that the shipping was expensive. It's just the book is very affordable. I mean, it is coming from the UK, so if you do live in the UK or you live in Europe, you can be saving on shipping as opposed to me here in the United States if you wanted a copy. Yeah, there's a selected bibliography of Eric Brown's titles. And yeah, you can just see on here, you have a bunch of Solaris ones here with the novels and Galance, but you can see a lot of novellas here. PS Publishing, PS Publishing, PS Publishing. There is one, there's two. There's On Arcturus 7 and The Martian Simulacra by NewCon Press. But everything else in the novellas section are PS Publishing titles, which is wild. Some of them, like I said, co-written with Keith Brook, who did contribute a short story here to The Stars and Back. As far as I'm aware, this is only available through NewCon Press. There's a link in the description below if you do want a copy for yourself. This was actually artwork by Jim Burns. This was actually just published in to time up with what would have been Eric's 64th birthday. So happy heavenly birthday to you, Eric Brown. And man, I definitely have to dive into this collection sooner rather than later. Very excited to see what it contains. Sometimes these anthologies can be hit or miss, but just anthologies in general, you're going to have some standout stories and some that are maybe not so much standout stories, but the tribute anthologies are perhaps most touching of any anthologies out there, because even if the short story isn't like a 5-star short story, it's still usually written in honor or with heart and soul, so you can really appreciate the love behind the words. So yeah, this is available through NewCon Press in paperback and the signed hardcover. I believe the signed hardcover is still available, but I will put a link in the description below to if you want to pick up a copy for yourself. Like I said, it's nothing fancy. It's definitely not going to be as fancy as every other small press out there, but it's affordable in its own right, even more affordable than those other small presses. And you're going to get, the type of book that is reflective of that price. I will do a book review eventually of this once I have read it. I got a pretty big TBR pile, though, if I'm going to be completely honest. So it might be a little while. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to check out more of these unboxings or one of my weekly book reviews on Tuesdays. The unboxings are whatever day, I have an unboxing. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. Check out NewCon Press, and we'll see you around next time.